Welcome to the AC Machine Design class. This is a graduate level course on the design of AC electric machines. The objective of this video is to introduce you to the course format and policies. This class is being taught in a flipped classroom manner, which may be different from other courses that you've previously taken. So we're going to take a few minutes in this video to go over how that format works, what I expect from you and what you can expect from me, and just generally how we will conduct the class. So you can break down your activities in this class into two categories. And those activities are divided as activities that you'll engage in before each class and activities that you'll engage in during each class. So before each class, I will be posting content on Canvas on our course website. And we'll be grouping this content per class day, and for each class day I will be creating and posting lecture videos that I expect you to watch outside of class. And when you're watching these videos, it is very important that you take notes. And you'll see that these lecture videos have been created as very compact, high-dense videos. They're typically 15 minutes to 25 minutes long. I've created these videos in a manner that should be very conducive for you to take notes. For the most part, they're all handwritten videos where you should copy into your notebook exactly what I write on the screen. Please make sure that you have either a spiral-bound notebook for the class or some kind of 3-ring binder that you're keeping class notes on for each video that you watch. And we'll talk about this a little bit more later in the video, but I expect that you to bring these notes with you to class. You're going to have lecture videos that I expect you to take notes on, and you're also going to have reading assignments for each day. The design of this course very intentionally aligns all course content to course learning outcomes. We'll review those learning outcomes at the end of this video. But the point I want to make here is that since we have deliberately designed each component to match learning outcomes, I want you to be very careful when you review the material that I assign, whether this is the lecture videos or the assigned reading. In some cases, I'll be posting optional materials on the website, and these materials may not be as closely aligned to our learning outcomes and are meant just to supplement your understanding if you're interested. So if something is indicated as optional, it truly is optional. But if I've not indicated anything about the material, then it is required, and I'm counting on you to give it a detailed read or viewing. So that's what you need to do before class. What are we going to do in class? Well, since you're watching all your lectures outside of class, that frees up our class time for what we're calling active learning exercises. These learning exercises are group learning exercises. So you'll be sitting in the class in groups of approximately 5 to 6 students, and each day I'll bring with me a learning exercise for you to complete with your group. And instead of being an instructor at the center of the room drafting equations on a whiteboard, I'm going to be your coach. In fact, we've got a TA who will also be your coach. And us coaches will walk around the room, spy over your shoulder on what you're doing, and give you hopefully helpful suggestions. So the idea is to engage you twice on the formal learning content. First via the video lecture, the out-of-class component, where you're watching a video and you're reading material. And then second in an active learning component, where you're engaging in the material. You're understanding what my expectation for your understanding of the material is by practicing it. And this gives you lots of opportunities to ask me questions. You can send me emails, you can show up for office hours, either my office hours or the TA's office hours. But the big benefit is that you can ask questions directly when you are experiencing the material during the in-class learning activities. Now let's talk about how your grade will work. There are 4 components in this course that will contribute to your grade. The first component is those active learning exercises. We're going to have this be a sizable portion of your grade, and so this means that your attendance in each class is mandatory. However, to account for the fact that life happens and things come up, we're going to be dropping several of your lowest scores. This means that you effectively get several days where you can miss class and have no negative repercussions. Please see the syllabus for the exact details on this. The second component is out-of-class homework. And a third component is midterm exams. We're planning to have one midterm exam in the middle of the term, and a second non-cumulative midterm exam at the end of the semester. And finally, we'll have a final exam, but this will be a take-home final. It'll be a project-based final. So those are the 4 components of your grade. The exact breakdown of how each of these components contributes is outlined in the class syllabus. All right, let's talk about rules for how this class format will work. The first rule is that I want you to focus when you're watching these videos. Please close Twitter, please close your email, please silence your phone, and just focus on the video. You'll find that these videos are very information dense. In fact, I expect that you may need to pause and rewatch portions of the video in order to take accurate notes on the video and fully comprehend what is going on. The point in making these videos so information dense is to make them very compact nuggets that you can easily zoom back and forth within to look up information. This is a deliberate design choice to avoid having a long, sprawling video that encompasses an entire lecture. Next, I expect that you will take notes when you watch these videos. And again, the videos have been deliberately designed for you to take notes on. What I write on the screen, you should exactly write down in your notebook. Or you can elaborate on this as you see fit. And third, I want you to bring these notes to class. In fact, the notes are going to be your ticket to being allowed to watch the videos in class to complete the active learning exercises and to get support from the coaches on the learning exercises. So what I expect you to do is when you come to class, you should immediately get your notes out and have them on the desk next to you. The whole point of this is to encourage you to engage the material multiple times. So I truly expect that you've watched the videos before class and have taken notes, and then I understand that you may need to rewatch a portion of the video in class to maybe catch some comment I made or just rehear the thought process for deriving a certain equation in order to complete your active learning exercises. And that's okay. In fact, I want to encourage that. But we need to be clear that you should have previously watched the videos outside of class and taken your notes. The components of this class, the lecture videos, the in-class learning exercises, the assigned reading, and the learning outcomes are all based around best practices, evidence-based practices of creating effective learning environments. In fact, even the group size that I'm encouraging you to sit within of 5 to 6 students, all of this is based around what makes an effective learning environment. Let's now review the course learning outcomes. These are the outcomes that you can find on our course syllabus. The course learning outcomes state that by the end of this course, you will be able to 1. Analyze, derive operating principles, and sketch voltage, current, and air gap field phasors and waveforms for synchronous and asynchronous AC machines. So the first learning outcome is saying that you should be able to analyze and drive operating principles for the types of electric machines that we will be designing in this course. That means that we will spend a component of this course building up our analysis skills, because after all, if you cannot analyze the machine that you're designing, how can you determine if it is any good? The second learning outcome is that you will be able to use analytic techniques to dimension and size electric and magnetic components of AC machines. These are the permanent magnets, the magnetic steel, and the windings. These are the active components, what we call the active components of our motor system. That is, the components that we use to create torque. And so dimensioning and sizing means that if you're told you need to create a certain amount of torque, you can come up with a rough design or a crude size design. You know how long the machine needs to be, what diameter it needs to be in order to achieve that rating. The third objective is that you will be able to model and evaluate the performance of AC machine designs using a finite element analysis tool. So we're going to be building up our analytic analysis skills in part 1, in learning outcome 1. But learning outcome 3 requires you to be able to use a finite element analysis tool to compute a more accurate analysis of the machine design. The final learning outcome is that you will be able to investigate trade-offs in the design space and propose Pareto optimal designs by using finite element analysis techniques to model AC machines. And that will be the focus of the last portion of the course and your take-home final exam. In summary, This video has introduced you to the course format and our policies and some of the thought process behind the design of the course. And then we've briefly reviewed the course learning outcomes. These learning outcomes are what we orient all of our curriculum to in this course. Every activity, every required activity that you will be asked to engage in will be in support of you achieving these learning outcomes. So come back to this every time we have a midterm exam. Come back to the learning outcomes and think about how I might be assessing whether you have met these learning outcomes.